We bought a very fancy baby blender, steamer and blender, which was about $400. So
I didn't know that.
Baby big ticket items. Is there a difference between buying cheap or expensive?
Pay more money to get the good quality. I'd had some negotiation, so if I got the cheaper cot, then I can have the more luxurious rocking chair.
I think it depends on what it is. We hit up the second-hand market a couple of times for nearly new, perfect things that other parents weren't using, so they were happy to give it at a very good price.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind with this question is I am the best at buying on Facebook. So we bought our entire nursery off Facebook.
But I think some other things like you would find, say,
A pram
or a stroller, there is a clear difference between some of the better ones and definitely the more affordable models, because just their ease of use and their longevity.
If you were to do it all again, what baby products would you save or skip out on the second time? And what essentials would you purchase again?
What I would skip is a bassinet, and I'd go straight to cot. In the early months, the baby play gym was amazingly good.
Definitely a baby swing.
We lived off our little baby swing. That's worth its weight in gold because you don't have a baby attached to you 24/7.
I don't think there's actually anything that I would skip on.
I think some of the clothes items for kids that you think you're going to dress them up in a certain fashion and then they grow out before you have the chance.
Not everyone gets a rocking chair. I found that was very useful item for us because there were quite a few nights where you'd be up in the middle of the night feeding or trying to put a crying baby to sleep, and having a comfortable big chair to sit in was ideal.
A dehumidifier, because we thought that would help. Someone said get a dehumidifier so they could sleep better, and that was a waste of money.
What were your household bills like before and after having a child?
Things that we would probably notice would be energy increases. Water would be a big one, with just being at home more often throughout the day. Maybe like 25 to 30% of an increase, I would say.
I think the bills themselves have stayed pretty similar.
I would say electricity went up.
The prime heating cost for us was actually buying wood for the wood burner. It's Melbourne, it was cold.
How much does having a child increase your grocery bill by?
For the first 6 months, not at all.
It's probably increased it by, again, like that 30% buffer.
Yeah,
we find ourselves buying a lot of things that we probably didn't used to buy, so a lot more fresh fruit and vegetables.
20%?
Yeah, I was going to say even less than that. I think we budgeted something like $500 a month just for the baby.
Maybe 20%.
Luckily, our boy eats pretty much
What we
eat, so when we cook, he gets the same stuff.
When do you think you should start saving for your child's education?
I would love to start saving for a child's education right now, but I think we're just busy kind of keeping everything afloat, paying for mortgage.
Now.
Exactly.
We've actually started straight away.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
It comes down to, I guess, if you're planning on sending your kids to public or private schools.
I don't think we're paying for his university. He's going to have to sort it out himself.
What's something you've cut back or given up on spending to save for baby's expenses?
We've cut back on things because of our lifestyle change. So we now have a child, so we don't really go out as much. And our preferred holiday trips these days are actually camping and that's cheaper than going to flash hotels.
We've given up eating out for dinner.
Yeah.
We've probably given out nights out, having drinks and things. Once you have the baby, the priority is her or him. So you don't tend to spend a lot of money on yourself or as much on yourself.
I think it's incidental spending. Things like brunches and things like that we probably did cut back on. Your top savings and budgeting tips to new parents?
It doesn't have to be brand new.
It doesn't have to be the most expensive thing. Shop around, do some research.
Start as early as you can. I mean, you find out 12 weeks in, at the latest, I guess, which means you've got 6 months up your sleeve to make some plans for that day or that week that the baby is supposed to arrive.
start putting money aside, I think is good. Whenever you do have that spare $50, $100 or whatever, put it aside and just keep it in your back pocket.
You just need to be a bit reasonable.
Yeah.
Babies don't need anything and everything. They don't need a million clothes. It's about figuring out what you really want and what you maybe don't want.
Yeah.